will not entertain. God is they simply believe, like that only they say. And whatever the questions they don't like, they will suppress the question they don't want to answer, or they will corner you. All these things. Spirituality is not like that. Spirituality transcends you from the current. It brings you closer to the truth of the self as well as the God. So religion invents. Spirituality helps you to discover yourself. Religion has to invent to survive. New things it will invite, new methodology of alankara, puja, that, this, everything they will be inventing, and more powers they will make into the God. It is available, this God, that God, all those things. So they are inventing new things in the name of God in order to attract the bhaktas or the religious people. Whereas spirituality, it will help you to discover yourself, the God, and also it will help you discover yourself also. Religion does not tolerate any question at all. If you ask anything, they will tell you you are not obedient, you are not following the religion, you should not ask such questions. Like that only the people will be stopped from talking. Whereas spirituality encourages searching an answer to your questions. It will not say you don't ask about God. So you ask God, you will find out. Definitely, let us talk, let us discuss with the God. The whole of Upanishads only doing that only. Discussing about God and discussing the nature of Brahman, nature of Atma and all. So along with Shishya and Guru, both together they do that. That is why that's a different, it's called spirituality, it is not the religion. So religion is human. It is organization with man-made rules. Religion is human means religion is not created by God. Religion is created by the human being or the head of the organization. He makes a set of rules, do's and don'ts. When you follow and all those things, it is just like a political party. All those things has to be followed. Inward politics and religion only is making to all the people under the governance. Whereas spirituality is divine. It is not having any human rules. It will entertain and it will also introduce to the natural rules, natural causeless cause rules. It will be entertaining. It is omnipresent, eternal, boundless, and immutable principle. It will be helping you to understand that. Religion, it divides between you and me. That is the big problem. You are not that religion, I am not this religion. I am in that religion also, this sect, that sect, and all those things. Go on dividing in order to make their ruling easy. They are making the religions are dividing the people, dividing the mankind, dividing the human being. Whereas spirituality unites because all the spiritual people has the common goal of moksha, Atma Gyan, becoming Jnana. There is no other things dividing them at all. Religion follows the concept of the sacred book. Religion has got a constitution like a book. So they follow the book. If anything not written in the book, it is not true at all there for them. Whereas spirituality is not like that. Whatever written in the book, they simply it is not acceptable. Spirituality will question everything and find the truth in all the books. And what is not in the book also, they will find out and tell you these are all the truths are available. Whereas religion feeds on the fear. If religious people are fearless, fear people, they are fearing to the God, to the Padri, to the Archaka, to the Purohit, to the rituals, everything we are fearing. If I don't do, I will get something punished. All these things are fear only, they are inculcated with that. Spirituality will not feed you with the fear, it will feed you with the trust and faith. Religion makes you to live external to reality, external reality. That means the worldly realities only they will be teaching the spirituality, external reality. It is not talking about Atman and other things. The moment if you start Atman and all, it comes to the spirituality level. So spirituality has to do with the inner sense. Spirituality has to do with the inner consciousness. Religion deals with the performing of the religious rituals. You have to do like this, all the rituals are there, all those has to be followed, then only you are a religious person. Spirituality has to do with your own inner self. You have to find out these outside rituals are not so important for a spiritual person. He will be internally deep diving into his own Atman Jnana. Then he get into the inner this one and he find out the God also. Religion, so when you follow, I am very religious person, the proudness I am making. So the religion is an internal ego to promote internal ego. I am very religious, I am very methodical, I am very much puja, bhakti, everything is there. So that itself will make you more egoistic person. Spirituality will remove the ego, it will transcend beyond the self. So that is the speciality of the religion, spirituality. Religion is a cult. It's a group of people, sect of people. So they don't like the other sect of people like that. Religion is a cult, whereas spirituality is an inner meditation. Everybody, when you are going into the inner domain, and everybody in the same domain, you will be. They don't have any groupism at all. They have the same thought process, same thing will be there. They will be going into the spirituality. Religion fills us with dreams of glory and paradise. So religions will tell you there is a Swarga, there is a Naraka, there is a Patala. All these things, heaven, paradise, all these things are only created by the religious people. So they make you to believe it is available somewhere else. And they say you have to travel in the journey. Your journey is to travel in space and time. Because if you want to go to heaven, there is a place. It is a space according to them. It is a place. And also, you have to reach that, not now. You have to reach after your death. Like this and all, it is there. Spirituality makes you to live glory of the paradise on the earth. You can live. You need not go to this one. You will become a Atmananda. You will get Atmananda. You will get into such a level. You will become so much whatever you don't have any other timeline is not there for that. You are not traveling in time, you are not traveling in the space. It is not a destination to arrive. You are already that. That will be shown by the religiosity, your spirituality. Religion gives you in the past and the future. In the lives in religion lives only in the past and the future. Present it will not live. Spirituality lives in the present. So, if anything you say, religious people, you have done like this, that is why you are getting like this. So, if you do good, you will become good and you will get good things in the future, nothing in the present. Whereas spirituality lives in the present. If you do good, then now immediately you get peace of mind, immediately ananda, immediately permanent happiness also you may get. You may become jnani also. So, religion creates blind beliefs in our memory. Spirituality releases and liberates us, and it will create an open consciousness in us. So, finally, if we want to conclude the religions and this, the religion has a thought process. One, it is accepting like that we are not human beings who go through a spiritual experiences. So we are not human beings and we are going through a spiritual experience. That is what the religious people will say. Whereas the spiritual beings, spiritual people will say. So we are spiritual beings. We are going through a human experience. That is the difference. So we are spiritual beings already they accept and they make we are going through a human experience. That is what they say. So With this, what happens? You will be understanding what is religion, what is the spirituality. Otherwise, always confusion is there. Sometimes we look this as a religion, this as a spirituality. Unless we have this knowledge, clarity, we cannot get into the knowledge of attaining ourselves. See, normally in Vedanta, they deal with only 6 subjects. The total Vedanta is very vast. It is there. So Veda Upanishads are there, Prasthanatrayas, they call it as Veda Upanishads are one set of the pillar. Prasthanatraya is 3 pillared things are there. So the one pillar is Prasthanatraya is Veda and Upanishads, Vedanta. The another one is Bhagavad Gita. Another one is called as Brahma Sutra, Nyaya Prasthana. So these 3 things are the pillars of our Adhyatma and Vedic literature. So from these 3 major things only, everything has, whatever you see, Shastra, Purana, everything has been derived out of this, including Darshana Shastra. Everything are derived out of this. These 3 are the major pillars, Prasthanatrayas. So with this only the things will come. And the whole Prasthanatraya, the whole Vedantic literature deals with the human being. What all his problems are there. So what is his curiosity? Everything has been classified into 6 subjects. The whole of Vedanta teaches only these 6 subjects only. It may be a different flavor of ice cream like that, it may be there. But ultimately it is basically ice cream only. So like that only, here, Jiva, Jagatu, Ishvara, Bandha, Moksha and Sadhana. These are the 6 subjects Vedanta deals with that. So Jiva. So Jiva means about my own self is there. Now I am a living being. Who am I? What am I? All these questions from time point, one point or the other, people will get into that. So that is why that is first we have to understand. If you don't understand, we live only in the materialistic being, it becomes a problem. So first Vedanta says you have to understand yourself. That is Jiva. So Jagat, so we are also seeing there is externally world is there is mountains are there, sea is there, birds are there, all the things are there, other human beings are there, other world also is there. So that means we have Jiva is there, Jagat is there. And the other question will come is Ishvara, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. So we are also seeing these 2 things cannot exist without somebody creating it. So that also we have understood. Karya Karana Sambandha we call it as. So if we have to see a pot is available in front of you, pot is nothing but clay. Clay itself cannot become a pot by itself because a pot maker should be available. I am not able to see the pot maker in front of me. The moment if I see there is a pot, I know it is made of clay, but pot maker must be available. He must have only done that. Similarly, the whole world is existing means somebody must have created. That somebody who created, we believe as a God. So that also exploration, the Vedanta does that. So Jiva, Jagatu, Ishvara, all the 3 things exploration, the whole subject deals with that only. Subsequently, what is the relationship between the Jiva and Jagatu, and Jiva and Ishvara, and what is the interrelationship between the Jiva, Jagatu, Ishvara? All the 3 things are seen like that. So that all the relationship together, it is called as bandhana. So we are attachment is there, our bandhana is there between the Jiva and Jagatu, Jiva and Ishvara, and all the interrelation also I have the bandhana is. So once you know bandhana, you want to get liberated. So once you want to get liberated, that is called moksha. So how to get into the moksha liberation, that also will be dealt with in the Vedanta. So if all the 5 subjects known, I don't have a vehicle to go to Mysore. How can I go to Mysore? So that means You should have also a vehicle. That vehicle itself is called as sadhana. If you want to achieve anything of the knowledge and achieving moksha, you have to have a sadhana. So these 6 subjects only the Vedanta, all the Vedic literature, or all the Sanatana Dharma teaches only these things. So Jiva, Jagattu, Ishvara, Bandha, Moksha, and Sadhana are the major subjects. But if the subjects are there, somebody has to teach me. So who is teaching? A teacher may be there, or he may become a guru. Because guru, I said, Atmajnana, teaching all such person will be a guru. So now we look into the finer aspects of teacher and guru. How finally, subtly, there is a difference is there between a teacher and guru. Teachers gives you knowledge, whereas guru shows you the method of knowing. He will not give any ready-made things. He will be teaching you the method of knowing. So there is a difference. So ready-made answers, ready-made these things he is giving, teacher is giving as a knowledge, transferring the knowledge. Whatever he has learned, he is transferring. Here, he will make you to understand by yourself the method of knowing, the system of knowing, he will be teaching, the guru. So teacher transfers the bookish knowledge to the student, whereas master shares the experience. The experience is, no doubt it is written in the book, but how you are experiencing, that will be taught. So the master will be teaching you on that. The teacher and the master here is still guru. I am going to come in the latest part of it. So I am still talking on a teacher to master. Master is little bit less than a guru, but higher than a teacher. Like that it is. Teacher stuffs with you whether relevant or irrelevant knowledge. It is a syllabus is there. He is going to push you everything. Whereas a master, he will be removing your path and making clean your path. The teacher program you for society, whereas master deprograms you from that condition. So the teachers will be society, you have to be like this, you have to follow like that and all. Conditioning they will be making, master will be removing that condition. Teacher prepares the human being for systems of politics and religion to control and dominate you. Whereas master will say you find out your truth yourself only. Teacher produces perfect crowd, whereas master produces a perfect individual. So if you go, what is the effect of that? A teacher is a slingshot, whereas a master is an automobile. So the knowledge what he has given to an individual, whole humanity can be totally revamped. That is what he will be doing. So teacher is conditioning himself only. Master is an enlightened person. A conditioned person will talk conditionally only. Enlightened person can only talk enlightened things. So a teacher, if now we are talking about the guru only, so guru is a very important aspect. I'll be talking on the guru. A teacher takes responsibility to your growth, whereas guru makes you responsible for your growth. That is the difference. A subtle differences I am talking. That's how he become a guru. A teacher owns the responsibility to bring you up, your growth. Teacher takes the responsibility. Guru makes you responsible for your growth. A teacher gives you things you do not have and you don't require also. Such things only he will show you have to work for that, you have to do that, this and all. Whereas Guru will not give you anything. He takes away the things which you don't want. Things means not only the things, physical things, it is also knowledge. Unwanted knowledge also he will be removing. Teacher is ready to answer all your questions. Whereas Guru will question your answers. You have already formulated some answers, but he will question whether your answer is right or not. So whether your thinking is correct or not, like that, they will be questioning back. A teacher requires obedience and discipline in the student. Guru requires a trust and humility from the people. So it is not a obedience is not the basic step here. Trust and humility is required. A teacher clothes you and prepares you for the outer journey of the world. So he will dress you, he will make you manners, and all those things he will make. But he is only preparing you for the outer journey. Whereas Guru strips you. Already you have dressed up and all false ego and everything you have dressed up. The Guru strips of that and prepare you for inner journey. A teacher is a guide on the path, whereas Guru is a pointer on the way. A guide will talk to you so much and he will also maybe walking along with you, showing everything and all. Whereas here only a pointer. So he will show you the right path to you. From that path, if you go, you will be definitely succeeding and attaining moksha. A teacher explains the world and its nature to you, whereas a guru explains yourself and your nature to you only, because we have not understood our nature and ourselves. So Guru makes that, because even if we study psychology, it is only the mind only I am studying. So I am not studying about Atma. So here Guru explains to you yourself and your nature only he will explain it to you. So the teacher gives you the knowledge and boosts your ego. So when you accumulate more and more, either wealth or knowledge, we become egoistic. Guru takes away your knowledge. All those things are unwanted worldly knowledge. What is the use of that? It is only to earn money. All our university education is to get more and more money and more business I can make, more and more money I can make. So it is all we call it as for stomach filling knowledge or comfort making knowledge. Only two things only. It will never go into the touching with the Atma Jnana. So a teacher gives you a knowledge that boasts of your ego, whereas Guru takes away your knowledge and punctures your ego. That is what he does. I know that all these things will be punctured. Then only you will come to know what you are. So like that, it will be the Atma Jnana he starts introducing at that point of time. A teacher is an instructor. He will say you do this, that, and don't do that, do's and don'ts and everything. Whereas a guru, he will not instruct, he will construct you. He will construct you by yourself only. He will not construct means he will not bring the material and so he will guide in such a way, he will do such things, and you will be getting constructed once again, a newborn person will become. So that is what happens. Suppose this Upanayana, there is a thing is there, thread ceremony, after 8 years, they will be making the person, first the person will be born to the parents, mother and father. It is the physical birth. At the 8th year, he will be ready for Gurukula. He will be made Upanayanam and sent to Gurukula in order to get the knowledge up to 21 years. So he will be going to Gurukula, but now today is maybe a different methodology. But Atmagyan we are not getting. So we are getting into any university, we get double MS, double things. We may get a doctor Nobel Prize also, we will get. But Atmagyan is a different subject. So Gurukula was teaching you about that. So at the time of 8th, when you are going to the Gurukula, it is called as Dvija. We call it as a second birth of our human being happens. The knowledge is imparted by the Guru. That is why it is called Dvija. So Dvija is the second time born person. So he will be his father is Guru and mother is the Shastra. So that is how he become Dvija, a second time born person. So he will be a noble person in the society. A teacher reaches your mind. But a guru reaches your mind, he will analyze your mind. This is how it will be. Your emotions are like this. This is how you will be have to behave in the society. All these things he will be teaching. Psychology, all the other things he will be teaching. Whereas guru, he will touch your spirit. He will not touch your mind. He will touch your spirit. He will jagrat. He will make your spirit jagrat. A teacher instructs you on how to solve the problems. Teacher guides you step by step problem solving techniques and everything, which is all problem solving is a materialistic problem solving. It is not a real problem of your own self. But if you see, most of the problem solving is not possible because 95% of our problems today, whatever we are having, is our psychological problems. There is no step-by-step methodology will work. Step-by-step will not work. So, Guru, what he makes is, he is not giving you the ready-made problem-solving techniques. Somebody's mic is coming to my ear. Disturbance is coming. Okay. So, Guru shows you how to resolve the issues itself. First is, if you have the problem, then only you have to, this one. If you don't have problem itself, then remove the problem itself. That is what he is doing. He resolves the issues itself. A teacher is systematic thinker. A guru is a lateral thinker. But one can always find a teacher, but finding a guru is not so easy. So sometimes, many of the times, guru has to find a real spiritual seeker is in you. Then only he will accept you. Then he will make you as shishya and teacher. A teacher leads you by hand, whereas guru leads you by example. So hand holding is there in the physical world, whereas guru leads you by example in the spiritual world. Finally, if you want to say, when the teacher finishes with you, you celebrate because you have got a graduation, master graduation, convocation, and all these things. So you celebrate. But when a guru finishes with you, your life celebrates. You are not celebrating. The whole life is celebrated. Both are required materialistically to some level. Teacher is required. Spiritually, guru is only required. Finding a guru is difficult, but when you are ready, guru will appear. So you should be ready, then only the guru will appear. Thank you. So with this, I will conclude. Whatever the subject I have planned for that, I will be doing it. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. We will open it up for questions now.
Another 5-10 minutes, I can answer.
Yes. Are there any questions? Please unmute and ask.
Yeah, I have one clarification. The Atmajnana, that Shankara, this one, I couldn't get it in Google. Is there any website I would like to know from the speaker? Because when I put it in Google, it didn't take me anywhere. That Shankara Atmajnana.
I'll tell you. So here, there is no single book is there in the, like in any other scriptures and other things, other part of the world. The Sanatana Dharma has got various texts and it is distributed in so many things. So you need a guru only. Self-knowledge, self-reading, from that you cannot become. So it is not possible because which book you have to read first, which one you have to do afterwards. There is systematic learning is required. Otherwise, it is not possible to understand the Atmajnana. I am having my own classes and conducting Ananda Shankara under the banner. I am doing Atmajnana classes. 90 session syllabus I have made, weekly 1.5 hour class I am doing. So with that, people are getting a lot of benefits. But whatever is possible, I will tell you. These are all the books you can read and all. One is Tattva Bodha, you can read it. Another one is Shankara's Atma Bodha, you can read. At least preliminarily, you can do that.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
sir. I have a
Thank you.
question now. You gave a very elaborate distinctions and some similarities and differences between teacher and the guru. What about the prophets? Prophets are gurus as well?
They are all religious prophets. It is a religion made prophets. Guru
They
is a
are not
different-
gurus?
Gurus, it is a separate, they will not proclaim themselves as guru. Guru will never proclaim himself as a guru. Guru will guide you. He will come in the disguise and he will guide you. Guru will not put the board. I am a guru.
And when we are ready, guru will appear. That distinction was very good. Whereas a teacher, there are so many teachers.
Yes. When you are ready means, if you are really, you are into the Atma Jnana, if your hunger is so much has come, then definitely you will get into the Guru. You will get a Guru.
Are available on YouTube. Now most people put it on YouTube.
Maybe some things may not be available. You have to, these two books are available in YouTube. YouTube, it is available on Google. Either in PDF format or in a ready-made book, you have to buy the book. It may cost 200, 300 rupees. You have to make a Google search, the books are available. Atma Jnana by Shankaracharya, Atma Bodha by Shankaracharya, and Tattva Bodha by Shankaracharya. Atma Bodha is a very higher knowledge book. Initially, you have to study only Tattva Bodha. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Hope I have answered, Janaki Raman.
Clarified and answered. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, a small clarification.
Ah.
Sanatana
Any other
Dharma is
questions?
religious.
Huh?
Sanatana Dharma is religious or spirituality?
See, in Sanatana Dharma, there is a Veda. We have 4 Vedas are there. In each Veda, there is 4 portions are there. The first 3 portions is how to pray and please the God. That is there in the first 3 parts of each Veda. 4 Vedas has got 4 sections, each there is 16 sections. Almost 3 sections of the first 3 sections of each Veda will be making you how to pray the God, how to make yajna, how to make satisfy the God and get whatever I want. So that is only the teachings are there in the Veda. So in that, what the people are doing, this is my God, I will create Ishvara. Somebody will create Shankara, somebody will create Vishnu, like that they have come. So each one will become a religion only like that. But beyond that, the 4th part of each Veda is called Vedanta. It is the end portion of the Veda. It is called Vedanta. There only the Atma Jnana related things are there. There is the spirituality is spoken in that 4th portion of that only. The first 3 portions, more or less, it is religious type, it will be there. The names are not given in the religious name. They will only give you how to pray the God, what to do the yajna, yaga, and all those things, it will be mentioned. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Anybody else who would like to ask a question? No? If there are no questions, then thank you so much, Mr. Prasad. And now I
Yeah.
request Mr. Janaki Ram to propose a vote of thanks. Mr. Janaki Ram, please.
On behalf of the organizers, School of Ancient Wisdom, I have pleasure in proposing a vote of thanks to Mr. Srinivasa Prasad. In a short duration of less than an hour, sir, you have made very clear the elaborate distinctions between the spiritual teacher and the spiritual guru. Even though your foundation was based on Vedanta and Atmajnana and the relationship between Jiva, Jagat, and Ishvara, but the points were very explicit in how can we differentiate between who is a teacher and who is a guru. How guru helps us to grow and guides us very well. And you also brought in dimensions of time and space and how the religions tend to have some compartmentalizations, do not encourage questioning and open-mindedness, whereas this more unflowering of the self is promoted by the guru. And thank you for a very clear exposition on this apparently complex subject, but you made it quite simple for all of us to understand. I thank you very much, and maybe we will have more occasions on whatever subject you choose to go deeper. We will benefit definitely with your background, experience, and knowledge, and the contribution you are making by teaching others. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I,
Thank you
al-
so much.
I also thank Sajani, who is the coordinator, all the participants for attending, and also I'm sure all of them benefited. And if you have some questions later on also, you can send to Sajani or to any of the school coordinators so that we can get the answer from the speaker. I also thank Swati and the backroom work being done by them at the school, Aniket and everybody else for making this WebEx meeting possible. With that now, I pass on to Sajani.
Thank you so much, Mr. Janakiram. Thank you, Mr. Prasad, once again. And we look forward to seeing you at the school shortly. And now I
Loka Samasta. Yeah.
Malati to
Yeah,
chant
I
the
will.
Loka Samasta.
I will.
So I thank School of Ancient Wisdom for providing me this opportunity. So I'm thankful to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And please, everybody, stay muted while I chant Loka Samasta. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu.
Thank you, Malati. I'd
Welcome,
like to remind
Saj.
everyone that we have programs on Saturday. We have the Bhagavad Gita by Krishnapani, and we also have Swami Chidananda, who is talking to us. So next Thursday, once again, we will meet for the regular satsang, and we look forward to seeing all of you there. And today is a very auspicious day because it's the Navratris. The Navratris have started, and I wish each and every one of you a very happy Navratri. God bless. We look forward to seeing you once again at our next satsang. Thank you.
Thanks, Saj.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Prasad, once again.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.